Hey guys, this video is going to go over this assignment that I have projected right in front of you. There's not really a title on it, so I wanted to show you. It's going to be solving those two-step equations. So double check that this is the assignment you're working on. I'm going to be working through this one, and this one. So if you just want to follow, it's going to be your last three on your first column. So just know those are the three I'm going to be working on in this video. Okay. So remember our I can statement is I can solve two-step equations. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the third one down in the first column. So it's going to read 5x minus 8 equals 37. So right away I know I need to draw my line. Okay. And that line's going to help us keep straight which side is which. So I also need to know where my variable is. So I know that my variable is 5x. So we know that we need to get x by itself. So remember, we're going to be using doing our subtraction addition first, and then we'll move on to multiplication and division. So in order to get x by itself, we're going to start with this minus 8. I know if I want to get rid of it, I'm going to do a plus 8. And a minus 8 plus 8 is going to cancel out. And whatever I do on this side, I have to do over here. So I'm going to add 8 here as well. And when I add that, I'm going to get 45. And then I also still have my 5. So my first step I got completed. I took out the subtraction part by adding on both sides. So now I'm left with 5x equals 45. So this isn't our answer. We still have to do one more step because we're solving two-step equations. So when I see a 5x like this right beside each other, I know that means multiplication. So if I'm trying to get my x by itself, that means I need to do the opposite. So I'm going to divide. Now I want to point out, this is going to look like a fraction. Just know that this also can mean division. So if I do, this means division. You can also write it like this, if that's confusing to you. So you could just say, I'm going to divide 5. And that will cancel out. Whatever you want to do is fine. But just know that you might see it that fraction way. So if I'm going to do 45 divided by 5, that's going to give me 9. So I can set it up like this too if that helps. And that's going to be 9. So I'd get 45. So then I have x by itself, so I'm able to bring that down. So I have x equals 9. Now if you got lost, didn't quite get it, or need it repeated, feel free to pause, rewind, whatever you need to do. And remember, we're on that third one down. So we've already solved these two in class, and I'm on the third one down in the first column. So make sure you got all that. Remember, all the work that I do on these videos needs to be on your paper to get full credit. Okay, moving on. I'm going to go on down. So I have x divided by 10 plus 19 equals 27. Oh, that's a silly 2, so I'm going to try that again. So I'm going to draw my line. Okay. And I'm going to find my variable, which is x. So I'm going to look, and I see addition right away. Okay, so I know I'm going to start there because we start with addition and subtraction first, then we go on to multiplication division. I'm adding 19 here, so I need to do the opposite, so it cancels out. That way we can get x by itself. So if I do it over here, I must do it over here. And that's going to give me 8. Okay, so now I have x divided by 10 equals 8. So we're not finished. We still need to get x by itself. So this is our second part. This was our first part. Now we're going to complete our second part. So I'm dividing by 10 here, so I need to do the opposite. So that would be multiply by 10. That's going to cancel out. And I need to do the same thing over here. So we know that 8 times 10 would be 80 equals x. So that would be our final answer. We have x equals 80. Now the great thing about these problems is you can always tell if you're right. You can actually take 80 and replace it for x, and it should work out to equal 27. So double check that, that's a great way to double check your answers, just to make sure that you're doing it right. So like I said, if you need to pause, rewind, if you have any questions, watch it again, see if you can get it, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So I'm going to be on the last one of this column. So it's going to be x divided by 3 plus 15 equals 21. First thing I do is I'm going to draw my line. Help us keep organized. I'm going to identify my variable, which is x right here. I see that I have a division and addition, so I know I'm going to start with addition. Get that crossed out. So I'm adding 15, so I need to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 15. That's going to cancel out. Whatever I do on this side of the line, I have to do over here. So I'm going to do minus 15. And 21 minus 15 is going to give me 6. So I have x divided by 3 equals 6. Okay. So I'm not finished. Got my first step done. Here comes my second part. So I have a division sign. So I have divided by 3. I need to do the opposite. So times 3. Whatever I do over there, I need to do over here. So this cancels out. And I know 6 times 3 is 18. So that is going to be what x equals. See if you can do these 3 on your own. Remember to show all your work, draw those lines, identify your variables, and start with addition, subtraction first, then move on to multiplication and division. Let me know if you have any questions, any concerns, and I know you can do it, so good luck.